everybody, welcome back. So today we're going to be having a bit of fun with scrapbooking paper and a 3D cardstock craft. I wanted to do a fox head with you, but unfortunately the design just does not want to open for me. I've tried multiple times, it's just not my friend right now. So instead we're going to go for something a bit simpler. We're going to be doing like a vintage style bag. So I'm actually going to be making two of these, and the reason for that is I think when people see scrapbooking papers, they see one of two things. They either see like a very old vintage style, or they see bright and sort of fun, if you can say that. So I wanted to showcase both of those so that it appeals obviously to the people that want something more bright and fun, and it also appeals to the people that want something a little bit more classic. So for the one bag, I'm going to be using a mixture of these. So I haven't decided yet. I really like this one. I really like that one. So I think I might go with that. I thought this was a good second option. And then I've got my sort of cream AC cardstock. So this is going to be my more elegant sort of classic bag. And then I have some pink cardstock, and I have the Cricut Deluxe paper, which is essentially a scrapbooking paper, and I think I'm going to use this one. So I think that'll be quite a fun little one to do. There are obviously a bunch of different styles here. I quite like that as well. I think that's quite nice. I think those are the only ones that really go with it. So the reason I wanted to showcase scrapbooking papers is because they are such a good way of bringing colors and designs and sort of patterns into your crafts. I've used it for a lot of things. I've used it for cards, I've used it for 3D crafts, I've used it for gift tags, little boxes. There's so many different things you can use it for, and I just love that sort of different element that it brings into it. So for today, I do want to emboss. So I'm going to be using my Cricut Maker and my embossing tool. And then I was thinking about maybe foiling, but I don't think that it's going to work well with the sort of style that I'm going with. I think it might be too busy. So for this, I'm going to be using the Couture Creations all-purpose art glue with a precision tip. So I did see that this was Craft Buddy's one of their focus products. So I thought it would be nice to try that. I am getting better with it. I'm such a creature of habit. I actually just kind of push things off without giving them a chance. Then I might revisit the liquid pearl drops. If you've watched my previous videos, you'll know that we're not the best of friends. If that doesn't work, I actually have little half pearls that I'm going to use. If I do use the half pearls, I might maybe change my glue. I'm not sure yet. So let's jump in. I don't think it's going to be a very long one. This is quite a simple craft. So if you're looking for that 3D craft that's going to actually just make you feel comfortable with doing cardstock crafts, I think this is going to be a good one for you. So let's have a look at the design, and then let's get to cutting. Here is our design. This is actually a design-based design that I have added elements to. So the flowers is what I was going to use for the pink, but I do think that it's going to be way too busy. When you're using such a busy cardstock or scrapbooking paper, you obviously have to be mindful of how that's going to affect your end design. So I'm actually just going to get rid of these, and then I'm going to line that up. So what I did is I found a sort of crisscross pattern, and obviously underneath my operation I changed it to deboss. So I do just want to copy this whole design because we are going to make two of these. So we're going to say duplicate, and then we're going to move that out the way. So I'm going to line this up as best as I can. I think that's lined up. Nope. Let's zoom in a bit. That looks lined up. Okay, then I'm going to take all of that and I'm going to attach that. Remember, attaching takes multiple functions and makes them work together on the same mat. So that is what you want to happen. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to change the color of this to a sort of, that's more of like a yellowy, but that's supposed to be our cream. Now remember, when you change it, you want to actually go onto your side panel by your layers, and you want to click on only that part of it. You don't want to select all of it. You want your scoring and everything to be unaffected. So we're just going to change all of these to match, and your little bits here. And we're going to take that dark red and we're going to make that like a brown color. This is just going to help us differentiate between the different things that we're doing. So if you have a look, if I select just the item, underneath my operation it says multiple and it doesn't give me the option to change the color. That's why you need to go onto your layers panel and select only your cut layer, and then you can change your color. So we've got that done. Now we can move over to our pink one. So we're going to delete this. And what I want to do for this one is I actually want to make the sides match the sort of sash, if you want to call it that. So for this one, I'm going to make them match the red. And then I'm ready to go. So the most important part of this was obviously making sure that if you do change the colors, you do it correctly. And then obviously with your debossing or your foiling, whatever it is you want to put on it, that you're going to attach to your image. If you don't attach it, what will happen is your embossing, debossing, foiling will jump onto a new mat and it won't work together. So for this, I am going to be using my scoring stylus. Okay, so then we're going to say make it, and obviously we're going to set up our cut, and we're going to be good to go. So just to mention before we are good to go, so personally I use so let's just move this. So again, you obviously want to make sure that whatever you're using is set up correctly. You want to be able to manipulate, if you will, the design. So this is a bit of a waste if I have it running across the top of the screen, so I turn it so that it is taking up less space. And remember, my brown sort of stars, or what are they, flowers, those I only have offcuts, so I have to make sure that it fits into that. So something to mention is that on my maker I will use the cardstock for intricate cut setting for AC cardstock, and for the scrapbooking paper I will probably do it on less pressure. So let me cut these and then we can get to making them. Okay, so I've cut out all of my pieces, and while I was doing that I realized that my bag is actually super huge. So this is obviously the bottom of the bag, and we're just going to fold it like that, or this is sort of how the bag goes. There is another fold here. I'm not 100% sure what that's for just yet. Maybe it goes inside, I'm not sure. So I realized that my initial idea was not going to work. Lucky for me, I have not thrown away any of my extra diamond painting drills since the beginning of time. So I've found a lovely color here that I want to use. It's like an off-white pearl color, and I'm going to actually use this in place, oopsie, of what I wanted to use. I think this is actually perfect. So how amazing is this pen from Craft Buddies? It is so lightweight. It just makes it so much easier. If you're into diamond painting, their stuff is amazing. So I'm not going to need a lot for this. All I want to do is put a tiny amount. Let's just make sure. We're not coming out. Glue malfunction sorted. So we're just going to put a tiny little bit in the middle of each of these. And I think you can see where I'm going with this. I think that's all of them. How cute is that looking? I love it. Okay, we're going to do the same for this side. I love it. It looks so pretty. Okay, so I can put away all the diamond painting stuff now. We're going to let this dry now and we can move on to these pieces so long. So this has a couple folds. And this is just going to help us get our bearings by folding it now. So that is how it's going to go on the bag. So that helps us get our bearings, and we can look for our little pieces. So with this one, I used the flat side. I didn't use the textured side. And the reason for that was with my embossing, I wanted it to be quite noticeable. So I didn't want any texture to sort of mess that up. Okay. Oopsie. So I'm just busy folding our little corner pieces or side pieces. And then we're going to stick that onto here as well. So as always, I have it open on my screen so that I can see what's going on. Let's just make sure we have the right side. Yeah, we do. Okay, so I'm going to apply the glue here because that's going to be easier for me to make sure that I'm getting it in the right spots. So I'm lining it up with my fold and making sure it's on the edge. And I'm doing it little bit by little bit, as you can see. Have I got it? I don't even have it on the right side. My goodness. Look at me. Okay, we're trying that again on the right side. Now it's on the right side. Okay, next section. As you saw, I've applied glue everywhere. Well, on the whole thing, should I say. Oopsie, make sure it's all the way on the edge. There we are. Wipe away any excess glue. And then we're going to do the same for this side. I do think I'm falling more and more in love with this precision tip as I use it. Okay, and that is our strap for our bag. I love it so far. This is our handle for our bag. And that is going to go like that. So this, they do say you should hot glue it, but yeah, I'm going to try to do it this way anyway. So for these, we've got to fold these inwards. And I'm assuming we start there. I could be wrong. Do we start? I don't know if we start at the top or the bottom, to be honest. That's the problem. Oopsie, let's turn it around. Did I lose one? So my assumption is that it goes like that. But I think it actually goes the other way. Okay, so I'm assuming it goes like this and then sticks on the bottom. So that's how we're gonna do it. So we'll start on this side. So I would like a paintbrush for this, just because it's going to give me a cleaner glue, if that makes sense. Okay, so I am getting a container to put some glue in, because I personally find it a lot easier to work this way with glue. That should be good. So I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think that that goes like that. I kind of feel like if it was inside, it doesn't give the fold it needs, if that makes sense. So you don't get that same curve from the inside. Okay, so let's try that again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this little piece, oopsie, on the inside. It's already drying on my thing. So I'm going to glue like so. Hopefully straight. Okay, so it helps to obviously curve it so that you can get the right angle. Oh yay, we have half a bag. Yay. Okay, now we're just going to do the same thing for the other side. Then we need to stick our little bag together. Be careful not to get glue everywhere like me. So I like to use the back of my paintbrush to push down where my fingers can't get in. And there we have our first little bag. Full disclaimer, first time ever making this. How cute is that though? That's super cute. So I'm going to make the second one, obviously using our brighter, prettier colors, if you can say that. This was our more elegant or classic one, and then we're going to do one with the brighter colors. So we're going to follow the same process, it's just obviously going to be our brighter colors. And there you have it, two completely different style bags, both done with scrapbooking paper. One of them's quite elegant, one of them is quite loud and fun. This was my first time doing this design, so I did battle with it a bit. I'm sure I'll get better. Some feedback. Absolutely love this glue. It works very well. It did smush out the side a bit. I'm not sure if you got to see that. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it's given you some inspiration. I know a lot of us started out as scrapbookers or diamond dotters, and there are always ways that we can incorporate our different crafts into what we do today. Craft Buddies does have an amazing range of scrapbooking paper that they've put on their website, so if you don't have, now's your opportunity to get some. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope that I will see all of your scrapbooking cardstock crafts on the Craft Buddies page soon.